Recording.
Take 97. Closed emitter optics.
After this video, I don't want to talk about a closed emitter.
Can we screw this up one more time?
Hey everybody, it's Eric and Roy, and thanks for joining us for another Hatchet Cast episode. And today we're doing a battle of the enclosed emitters, and there are three optics in this lineup that we're going to be talking about.
We have the Holosun 509T, the Steiner MPS, and then we have the Aimpoint ACRO P2.
So, before we get started, go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe button. Please follow us, and that would really help us out. But let's go ahead and go with a disclaimer.
Okay, so disclaimer on these is we have no relationship with any of these companies. We actually purchased these directly ourselves. Yeah. No affiliation, so this came out of our money. We actually paid, I do believe, retail for all of these.
Yep.
Yeah, so we paid retail for all of these.
So let's start off, I guess, with the Aimpoint.
Cool.
P2.
So we got the Aimpoint P2. As far as the Aimpoint P2,
MSRP
is $599.
What's the street price?
Street price is an amazing $599. So if you're getting a deal on an Aimpoint P2, then definitely more power to you. This is the FDE model. Got to have the peanut butter. This one right here typically will, I do believe it's offered through B&T is where I picked it up at. I think this one's around $6.99. It'll come in at a few bucks more. It has a 3.5 MOA dot, is that correct?
3.5.
Okay, so we have a 3.5 MOA dot. The battery on it is a CR32. I do like that about it quite a bit.
2032.
2032, not
Yeah.
a 3022.
30. It's also not 21 ounces.
Eric said it was 21 ounces earlier. It is 2.1 ounces as far as in weight.
Yep.
It does not come in any kind of adapter plates for you to run like an RMR to an Acro. If you want that, you're going to have to do that on the aftermarket party.
Yeah.
It has its own footprint. We ran it on top of the Smith & Wesson M&P. And also on top of a Glock. On top of the Glock, we ran a primary machine plate, and on top of the Smith & Wessons, we were running an Apex Tactical.
Yeah.
As far as experiences with this thing, it's been a solid optic.
Yeah.
I've actually had no issues with it whatsoever. We're probably sitting at between just on the P2 itself, roughly right about 3 months worth of use on it.
Yeah.
And so far over the past 3 months, it's absolutely been fantastic. Very, very clean, very crisp dot. A couple things that I really like about it is the battery cap. Very easy to get in and out of.
Yeah, you can use a quarter, a piece of brass, a flathead.
I also like that it is the 2032 battery. That goes hand in hand with a lot of my optics that I'm currently already running. Most of our LPVOs and our Trijicon Credo that have illuminated reticles in them, they use that exact same battery. So I usually always have that battery on hand. We run the Aimpoint T2 quite often too.
Yep.
And we have that battery around like all the time. A very easy battery to come by.
Yeah.
So I do like that they did that. Easy access there. The adjustments, they actually use a Torx head, like Allen head, very, very solid when it comes to your elevation and windage adjustment.
Extremely tactile.
Yeah, you have plenty of adjustment there, so you won't run out. I've actually mounted this on top of a rifle. You'll see a lot of these that B&T. This actually was built for B&T, the FDE color, where they are mounting them on rifles. So you'll see that there's plenty enough MOA adjustment to even run it on a rifle. Also, Eric mentioned this to me. I never even thought about this, but the flatness on the glass. Very, very easy to clean.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where like you always get dirt on stuff on your glass, and almost every single optic that's a red dot, it has like that angle, and dirt and debris gets caught in there. For this, it's actually got 3 panes of glass. It's got one on the back, one on the inside like a traditional dot, and then it has an outside piece where all I do is a quick wipe, and it's clean. It's like so nice. Yeah.
It's been solid. The only con that I really have to it, it's a $600 optic.
Yeah, a smaller window too.
Yeah, and a smaller window, so it's $600. So that's no issues as of right now. 3 months into it, it's been a fantastic optic. Would honestly, I would purchase another one with no issue, for the exception of obviously $600 is a lot of money to spend on an optic.
Yeah,
so.
That's a high price. And also, if you have any issues with it, throw it in the comments below. Let us know your experiences on the Aimpoint ACRO.
Yeah.
Oh, battery life. Good job on fixing the battery life, because the
P1 battery life was atrocious.
Yeah.
I was having to change my battery life, or my batteries on the P1 about once every month.
Yep.
So
yeah, so good battery life, and also works great under night vision.
We don't currently have the Steiner MPS mounted on a pistol, but we do have them mounted on a rifle. Actually, I have a rifle right there behind us. We did run this on a pistol significantly. We ran it on top of a Glock once again, and also on the Smith & Wesson M&P. It weighs in virtually about the same as what the ACRO does. Nope, not 1.7 ounces, 2.05 ounces.
20 ounces.
2 ounces. They chose to go with a 3.3 MOA dot.
That's very interesting.
So versus the 3.5 MOA.
How much does it cost?
Cost on that bad boy, if you're looking at MSRP, MSRP is actually very, very similar to what the ACRO is, which is $575, $574.99 to be exact. But street price is probably going to be about $389 to $400.
Okay.
That's typically what you'll find it for. You can pick them up on Amazon. You can pick them up on Optics Planet. If you can contact us here at the shop, we can definitely get you one in that price range pretty easy.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in going one, it uses a 1632 battery.
What's that?
So a little bit smaller battery, 13,000 hours of battery life with 13-hour shutoff. So it does automatically shut off after 13 hours. I don't particularly care for that.
Yeah, it's the only con really that we had with this.
Yeah, I'm sure you can shut that off. That's what I have been told. I do not know. We've actually ran this optic for probably about 6 months.
Yeah, use honestly, you got it when they first came out.
Yeah, so maybe even longer than that.
Yeah.
A few thousand rounds behind them, mounted on pistols, a few thousand rounds
on
rifles. So far, it's been very solid once again, too. I like the glass shape on this. It's a little more square.
Yeah, bigger window.
A little bigger window. The 3.3 MOA dot, just like the 3.5 MOA dot, is kind of more my lane when it comes to size. I prefer actually running a 5 MOA. You run the 5 MOA also on the SRO. So the little bit larger dot versus the 2 MOA, I pick them up really quick. What did you think of this thing when you were
I mean, the cool thing about it, first off, let's talk about rule number one, always look cool, and this thing has a really cool look to it. So really like the aggressive look, kind of futuristic. Same thing, it mounts on an ACRO plate for the mounting solution, so that makes it pretty convenient.
Yep.
And also the clicks one click is for 1 MOA, so that was really nice and very tactile. Same thing with the battery pack, is you can use like a flathead screwdriver, you can use a piece of brass to kind of pry that open. The only con, and this is actually one thing that you had, was you have to actually like press and hold it.
Yeah,
it does cross-threading.
It's very tight. The seal that they use, or the rubber O-ring, it is very, very stiff. So be careful when you're tightening down that battery. I've actually seen a few people cross-thread that before. That's definitely doable. Relatively pretty easy. I do like that it's the Aimpoint ACRO footprint, because I think that's going to be the standard in the industry when it comes to closed emitters. For us, when it comes to it being a closed emitter, so far it's done everything just like the Aimpoint ACRO is what is advertised. It's keeping dust out, keeping debris out, and also keeping moisture out.
Yeah.
We suffer from a lot of moisture here in Florida. And both of these optics have done a fantastic job over the past 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
And absolutely zero issues, right?
Yeah. I think our biggest thing that you're going to run to, especially if you live in a hotter environment, is if you're going in from like a 65-degree cooled AC, the humidity, and then going outside to like 110 or 95, you get that condensation, and that's where you really get the moisture buildup that you really need to kind of pay attention to. And that's what we were specifically looking for with these, is making sure that there was no moisture getting inside those emitters. Because that's the whole point, is to keep the moisture out. That's why it's enclosed.
Exactly. So, and then kind of moving on to the Holosun 509T. One thing that is a little disappointing here, as far as talking about closed emitters that we have here on the table, is that there is not a U.S. manufacturer sitting here on the table. So just throwing that out there.
Old.
Trijicon. Let's get a closed emitter.
It's the future.
It's the future. It's definitely where it's at. I still prefer something like the Trijicon SRO, but I completely understand the advantages of having something like this, especially living in Florida. Holosun 509T. This one we have the absolute most amount of experience behind. They are one of the early ons, if not possibly the first company to push the boundaries.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're the
when
first,
it came to offering a closed emitter. So kudos to you, Holosun, for pushing other companies to change.
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate it. The community appreciates it.
Paving the way.
Paving the way. So I definitely appreciate Holosun doing that. This one here weighs roughly right about 1.7 ounces.
Okay, so a little lighter.
17 ounces.
Yeah. 71 ounces.
71 ounces. So 1.7 ounces. It uses that 1632 battery also. It does have a side compartment over here that uses like a little flathead to get in and out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. It makes it, you know, that you can access your battery without having to remove your optic. If you're still running an optic where you have to remove it to change your battery, the moment that you have some extra funds that you're not dipping into training, I highly suggest that you eventually get into something like this where you don't have to. So I do appreciate that, but I kind of wish that it was something a little bit more similar to what Steiner was doing, and especially the way Aimpoint did theirs.
Yeah.
That slot on the side of it, I'm gonna tell you, that slot on the Aimpoint ACRO is just huge.
I'm pretty sure they took a quarter and said, like, can a quarter fit in this? All right, we're designing
it that way. So that was, to me, that was extremely smart. To have to use a tool or have to have your Leatherman or something like that, your multi-tool around, or have to keep the Holosun tool with you to adjust that, or to take that out, that's, to me, it's a little bit of a downfall, but obviously you can overcome it.
I mean, I've actually had where I tried prying there. There's actually 2 pits on the side of that where I tried prying that open, and after a while it got stuck, and just from constant use. So like I pulled it and I actually bent that tray. So it could have been operator error, but it was really difficult, and I had luckily another spare tray that I could use to throw inside of that.
Now, by accomplishing this battery footprint that they use, they were able to shrink their size.
Yeah.
So I do like that. To me, it's very aesthetically appealing. I like the size of this one.
It's a smaller out of all
I do
three.
like the titanium housing that it's made with. I think it's cool that Holosun is running the solar technology.
Yeah.
So I don't typically take advantage of it, but it is nice knowing have that peace of mind. The little capacitor inside, that it gets a little bit of charge every time that you're out in the sun with it, and you do have that backup side.
Which we were going. I was running a 50 or 407 prior to this, so that Holosun technology with the solar is a huge peace of mind factor.
Yep. As far as adjustments wise goes, once again, a tiny little flathead, very similar to the one here. Key thing is hold on to your Holosun tool that they provide you with. As far as experiences with this thing, we've put a lot of rounds behind this bad boy. A lot of them. Now, none of these optics have been done in any kind of drop tests, putting them in the freezer or anything like that. Just natural use that you would run into if you were carrying one every day, training with it on a consistent basis. When I say a consistent basis, generally speaking, about 1,000 rounds per month per individual that we're putting down range on.
Daily.
Yeah, so we're daily utilizing them. We're dry firing them. We both are in this industry, so we can still carry. We have the ability. Our jobs don't hinder us from being able to still carry. So we obviously have a pistol on them all day, every day. So they get a lot of use. They get a lot of abuse. When I first got this optic, I was like, man, this is freaking awesome. I want to put it on absolutely everything I have. After about 6 months worth of use, that's where we did start to run into some issues with ours.
Yeah, we also all got ours around the same time. So like, it was like within a couple of weeks of each other, we got them around the same time. They also started failing around the same time within weeks of each other.
So some of those failures that we had was being a closed emitter, one of the primary things that you want to do is you want to try to keep moisture and debris out. We had moisture actually getting between the glass. So we had moisture on the inside. We originally thought it was on the outside until we went to wipe it off, and guess what?
It wasn't going nowhere.
It wasn't going anywhere. So we had a little bit of a fishbowl effect, or kind of like a headlight. If a headlight has like a leak in it where you get a little bit of moisture and water in it, that is one of the things we started experiencing. After some point in time, that water would start to dry out, and then the glass would actually start to kind of tarnish.
Like a watermark.
Yeah, like a watermark. So eventually it got to the point in time where it was very difficult to see through the glass and get a good, clear sight picture.
Yeah, actually, I forgot about that. Like, we actually did that where we dried it out. We set it in the sun and let it dry out. And then after it dried out, had the or the water spots, and then it got more moisture in it again.
So that was an issue with them. That was big. Holosun did a fantastic job of taking care of. Not us as far as Barrel and Hatchet, because we never actually reached out to them as far as Barrel and Hatchet. We just reached out to them as Roy or Eric. And they had a really, really quick turnaround. They fixed them. Actually, they ended up just replacing them. I think I had mine back within a week. I think you had yours back within a week. So fantastic customer service.
And they replaced it with the X2.
Yep, and they replaced them with the X2. Once we got the X2s, unfortunately, after probably about 6 months worth of use, we ran into the exact same issue. That 6 month mark, 6 to 8 month mark, is kind of where we really started to run into.
With our rate of usage.
Yeah, with our rate of use. It is very hot here, so I don't know if it was something that they were utilizing for adhesive on the back side of the glass or between the panes of glass, but they would start getting moisture on the inside. The glass would start to tarnish a little bit, kind of start changing a little bit of a color. We actually had one of them where the glass actually separated out of the backside of it under just shooting it, not dropping it or anything like that. So we did run into a little bit of issues with this. Now that being said, this is not a crap on Holosun. I do believe that Holosun is a fantastic company. I think that I know that they make their optics in China, and people are going to give me crap over that. But at the end of the day, they employ a lot of Americans. So they employ a lot of them. They have customer service, they have quality control, they have sales reps, they have shipping and handling. They employ a lot of Americans, and they ship a lot of optics, and they are constantly innovating. So I don't hate Holosun.
No, they're pushing the envelope. If you're innovating and you're pushing that, you're paving that way, you're going to have some things where it's like could be improved on, but the thing is they were the ones pushing the way on a lot of different areas. So understand, like, there are going to be some issues with any type of optic, but especially with a company that's pushing innovation like that. And
I'm not telling you not to go buy a Holosun 509T, and if you own a 509T today, I'm not telling you to sell it, because I can tell you right now that there's guys that have had them well over a year to 2 years now, and they're still working perfectly fine. Guys that I shoot with on a weekly basis, and they've had absolutely zero issues with them. So that is the sample of the few that we had. I do believe about 4, so maybe we just ran into a lot of bad luck with them, possibly. I still have one. I don't typically utilize it that much anymore.
Kind of keep it safe.
Yeah, kind of keep it, off to the side. Bang for your buck, to kind of close this out a little bit. I think the Steiner MPS is probably your best bang for your buck. It's about that same price as the Holosun 509T.
Street price is great on it. What's the Holosun 509T at?
Street price on it is about the same, $389 to about $429. So it's about the same price. You could find some sales. You'll find some stuff like occasionally, like on Optics Planet Primary Arms, where they have like a coupon code, and it's starting to drop down into that low 300s. So you can get some deals on it.
And then
out there.
The other thing is, like, these optics are good on handguns, are great on rifles. We had the 509T on an ACOG for a while. So I mean, the biggest thing is, with the Steiner, it was just, you get a really good bang for your buck. You get quality glass. Obviously, Steiner's a great company. All of these are great companies, but Steiner has their history to back it up. And also, good window. We just felt like with all the attributes combined, that Steiner was the best bang for your buck.
All of them are great optics. We did have, like I said, a little bit of issues with the 509T. Their Holosun was great as far as a company, as far as taking and warranting those problems. Key here is we're not telling you what optic to go buy, but to get out and actually utilize these and train with them. Okay? Whatever you have on your gun is what you have. Shoot with it. Okay? But if you are looking to get into a closed emitter, whatever you've chose and you put on it, what true time is going to tell is not what somebody on YouTube is telling you. But what your experiences are, and the time that you put on the range, the rounds that you put behind the optic, that's going to formulate your true opinion. All of these are great manufacturers. If you do run into an issue, they're going to warranty it.
They'll take care of you.
They'll take care of you. I have never had a bad experience with any of these manufacturers.
The cool thing also about all 3 of these optics is they fit inside of our Safariland RDS holsters, so we didn't have to modify them at all.
Did not have to modify them whatsoever, so that was actually fantastic.
That was honestly, that's a huge thing for us, because sometimes that will dictate what equipment we even put on guns. Like, holster fitment is a huge, huge factor, and they all fit in the holster for Safariland. So yeah, I mean, like Roy was saying, get out and go train. If you want to train and invest in yourself, you're worth the investment. We would love to train with you. So come, please take a class. We'd love to train you on. We have a pistol red dot class.
Come take our pistol red dot class. You'll get the opportunity to see a lot of different types of optics in that class, and get behind them and see them. A lot of our experiences and opinions also come from classes that we've taken, as far as red dot pistol classes that we've taken, and also how many classes that we've taught. So if you have questions on red dots as far as that you might be interested in mounting on your pistol if you're new to it, hit us up, send us a message on the website, send us a DM on, slide up into the DMs on IG. Slide into those DMs on IG. Eric will respond to those.
Yep.
And get back to you as soon as possible.
Absolutely. So make sure you guys go and invest in yourselves. Please get whatever equipment you have, go train with it, spend money on ammo, spend money on training. If you don't already and you want to save money, go check out the description below. We have tons of discount codes with all kinds of awesome companies so you can save some money. We know that money is hard to come by these days, so it's good to always save money where you can. And also hit up our Instagram page as well as our Spotify. On Spotify, we have our guest-only episodes where we interview guests about training, mindset, preparedness, things of that nature. And also every video that was on YouTube is on Rumble. So every video that's on this channel is also going to be on Rumble. So there may be videos that are no longer on this platform that are on Rumble. And also, come train with us.
Yeah, come train with us. Last but not least, your time is valuable. We hate wasting people's time. So if you're interested in taking a class for us, definitely head over to the website. We would love to train with you. It's super exciting to have supporters come out and we get the opportunity to shoot with you. So that's all I got.
Cool, awesome. Well, make sure you go out and train. Please invest in yourself. Thanks for watching this HatchetCast episode, and we'll see you on the next one.
Boom, boom, boom.
21 ounces.